person that we're talking to. It'll be like a, you know, the talk show, you know what I'm saying? So if you'll get situated, and then Eric, you gotta sit where you can talk. And everybody's close together.
So we're here to talk about that,
Community members, if you can just be mindful that Eric wants to make sure he can see your face if you don't mind being recorded for their
Before you begin, can we situate everybody so that we can see everybody?
Yes.
And no matter who talks.
Group photo?
Yeah, group photo. So can we get, I don't know, you can stand here, sit here.
You might want to do it with all the photos behind
Yeah, well, that's
you.
what I'm saying. We have.
Yeah.
We have lots of great photos.
Okay, so you want to sit in the hot seat here?
No, I think,
Okay.
I don't, well, you know, I think if council member's not in, but otherwise it would be great with her. I don't need to be in the photo. She did a photo with all the great pictures.
While we're waiting, while we're trying to, yeah, we're waiting for more people to come. But we can
my
start.
pad.
And just for the record, this is not photo, this is video. We can hear you too.
Videos on your iPhone.
iPod Touch, no phone. Because if Lisa calls me on my phone, you know, I don't want to have all the pictures up there too, you know. I want to be able to do things separately.
Yeah,
This is
You know, so I can talk on my phone and use my iPad at the same time.
I'm trying to get through, but we're taking longer than I thought we would.
Be more precise. Yes.
I need to stop double booking myself. That's what I need to stop doing.
Yes, you do.
I know. I don't do it.
Hi, I'm sorry.
I'm Christy Matthews, and I'm not going to
Judy Gold. I'm the Deputy Director of Constituent Services.
I'm not going to be doing all this weekend. I'm just going to do an introduction. We're here as a group of concerned citizens about the homeless services and the $20 million shortfall that is currently in the budget as it stands.
I didn't think
20 million.
You're right.
Currently as it stands, and we're here to talk about some of our concerns about what that would mean April 1st and what it actually means right now with the families who are unable to get into shelters. I'm going to let people speak. We're going to be brief. We're going to get through 3 speakers. If you have spoken at every one of them, try to get some of the other people to speak. We don't want to take everyone's time, but I do want to give people an opportunity to speak. So if you haven't spoken, please.
And I assume you're going to as many council offices as you can.
Yes. We're trying to go to all of them.
Right, but that makes sense.
Fingers crossed. So who would like to go first? I just did the intro, so.
I am here to support. I'm Jessica McLeod. I work with Thrive DC. We're an agency in Columbia Heights that we serve breakfast and lunch. But we used to be downtown where we serve more people, and we're happy to serve there. But unfortunately, due to things, we were forced out of downtown. We couldn't stay there. So anyway, we keep serving more and more people each year. Our meals went up last month, 300 meals in 1 month alone, which is a huge concern because if there are cuts, not just to housing, but also to utility and rent, we're feeding more people who are in housing now, as many as we are feeding that are out of housing.
When you say utility and rent, you mean assistance to pay
rent and utility.
I know that. I know it well.
Yeah, and so those types of things are huge issues for us. We also, we've already had La Casa near us close one shelter, and we've seen how it's greatly affected the community just there. And if there were another ones close, and we also in that one area are lacking the appropriate shelters and resources because they're so scattered far out. In Southeast, they're pushing us more and more outside of the downtown area to keep this funding focused on keeping the shelters, the few that are open, in the appropriate areas for people to access those resources. So, that's our next one.
Thank you. I just want to say something short. I was there, I testified for Parks and Recreation. They had a chance to talk to Ms. Bowser a couple of weeks ago. Do you have any idea of how Ms. Bowser is going to vote as far as
The revenue
increase?
I don't have an exact position because she doesn't yet. I mean,
but the term is closed.
Is it it's closed? I know.
Can we come back? Can I come back here and maybe talk to her about?
Well,
maybe she will have her mind.
I mean, right now what they're still doing exactly is going through each agency to see, the cuts that have been proposed.
At this late day? Really?
Yeah. Well, you've got, every minute counts because whether it's this cut or a Parks cut or a DDOT cut, or DDOT's transportation, I'm sorry, you probably know them, but I've been on the phone with people who don't, or Public Works. It not just will it save the money, but what will it do to the services? And in some cases, if you cut it, you're also cutting some revenue. Some of these people that go out and provide services also with citations and stuff actually bring in money. And then when you do all of that, which revenue makers, whether it's taxes or other revenues, might we need? And it's this close. So I haven't heard from her specifically from new revenues. There's some, we had, I can't remember the percentage now, where a few years ago we had put an increase in the sales tax that was due to sunset that we're probably not going to sunset because it'll obviously take it off.
Take it off after.
We're not going to probably do this one. We need that revenue. But I haven't specifically heard about either the mayor's proposed revenue, I hate that word, but whatever, or others. The one that doesn't seem like it's going to fly, but I'm not 100% sure. One of his proposals was for a tax on live entertainment, like theater, not movies, but live. That's probably not going anywhere. And it wasn't a huge increase. The one that probably, possibly will go is the increased tax on parking garages. Probably more effective.
Increased tax on what?
Parking garages. Garages.
What about on alcohol or tobacco? I mean, more about.
I haven't heard that that's been proposed.
Well, why not?
Well,
That's a good
again,
thing
I'll
to put it
mention
in.
it.
Maybe one more person.
Yeah.
More drivers.
Sure, no, it's fine if.
One person wanting to see.
Yeah, I have. I think it goes in the same vein. I'm not really happy about the city's position. I'm not really happy about the city's position on the elderly. And a lot of the elderly, I'm the executive director of CCMB, about 1,200 people are there. A lot of the elderly that the Department of Aging do not deal with are right there. And in a lot of other low barrier shelters, women 60, 70, 80 years old, you cut that IDA and that's all they got waiting on Social Security. They need it, either way, Department of Aging or wherever it is, I think revenue, that IDA, you need to, if you want that part of it, keep that there and try to get that from somewhere else in the city,
Well, and I'll pass it on, especially since Ward 4 has the highest population of seniors than any
Oh
other
yeah,
ward.
they need it.
Right.
And believe me,
And I haven't talked to her specifically about aging, Department of Aging.
Yeah, what the Department of Aging can't do or won't do, they are in the shelters. They are just dumped right in the shelters.
Right.
And if they don't,
From nursing homes to shelters.
Right.
they're going to be dumped on the street.
Right.
And
If you close
Make the
those
city look
shelters,
bad.
they're gonna be dumped on the
I
street
understand.
with no income.
Right.
And many of these people who are living in the shelters are aging in the shelters.
Right, of course. And they age sort of
They
quicker.
didn't enter it and they
Right.
were 60.
I mean, they're not physically age quicker,
And,
but they age quicker.
and actually, there was a story that somebody I know told me about an elderly woman who wandered from D.C. all the way back to Newark, New Jersey, my home state, by the way. But
That's a long one.
yeah, and she, at the time, she was like 78 years old.
And we could not get services for her in the city. We could not get adult protective services to pick her up. We could not get DMH to assist her. She lived in the shelter. She got on a bus to New York.
These
They called
shelter
us and
systems
said,
just picked that up.
why was this lady not hospitalized? Why was she wandering around? And all I could say is DC would not. We couldn't
And
get
then you,
anyone to help
yeah,
her.
so if you
And
close
I'm
the
a chaplain,
shelter,
volunteer chaplain in DC jail, and a lot of people in DC jail are homeless people.
Right.
When the
right.
cold weather get picked up in order to get off the
Right.
street, so hospital and jails are all going to get increased.
Right, no, of course. Right, because
Yeah, they have to go somewhere.
And or they commit some sort of crime.
Well, poverty breeds
You know
crime.
that. I'm glad you know
You don't
that.
help us, crime rates will go up. And
I'm
it's
glad
sad.
you said it.
I'm just trying to take that right.
It's
I'm gonna force my
it's a
people
vicious
into
circle.
jails.
I know I'm speaking too much, but one of the important things is that, you know, people can talk, but the bottom line is people listen to contributors. Okay, well, I'm talking like in general.
We are contributors.
Right, I'm not saying,
I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying.
Okay,
We kind of contributed.
Yeah.
right, but, you know, bottom line, everybody needs money. I'm concerned about a lot of the contractors that contract with DOES, and I've called DOES, I'm not gonna mention any names, that pretend to train and use, misuse budget money to get people like us trained and train them properly. A lot of money goes into that, okay? The training for homeless people, for people with mental health problems, you know, and definitely better case management. Because, I mean, we can sit here and talk, but we want to evolve into the kind of people who actually can put some money, and so just keep asking, let's try to, you know, contribute. Let's try to give back. It's time to give back.
Yeah, that's a different, I mean, that's somewhat of a different issue than the budget. It ties together, but we
It
can
does,
certainly
yeah.
talk about people with home services and do well with them.
Yes, please.
Right, on the budget, you know,
You know what, I find a lot of these agencies, these people that you put into power to come and help the homeless, they are getting money and are doing nothing to help the homeless. But they can pay their Rolls Royce notes, their boat notes, and we're still in the shelters. We're still untrained.
Separate discussion.
Come on.
And we'll look into that.
I don't know what's
I will
going
tell
on.
you just in response to your contributor thing. I can't speak for anybody else, and I know it just sounds like I'm giving you a spin, but for this council member, it just isn't true. Excuse me, my phone is talking to me, but I can ignore it. She does, and we do on her behalf. I can't even begin to tell you how many community meetings that we go to. We don't just sponsor, because we can sponsor all the meetings in the world, but we want to go to meetings that already exist, because that's what we don't misunderstand me. We sponsor a lot of them. But they're usually when there's a specific problem, water issues or crime issues or whatever. But we go out to the ones that already exist. They could be meetings of 12, because, you know, they're block meetings, whatever. And they have nothing to do with contributors. And when people call in and they say, well, I'm a resident of Ward 4 and I voted for, I don't care. I mean, care that they're a resident of Ward 4, because there's not much we can do for a resident of Ward 7. I mean, you are from the city, but you've got an overall issue. You're not asking me to fix a pothole, which is hard to do for somebody in Ward 7. Or whatever, or Maryland. But she really doesn't care.
Well, there's a
I mean, she
meeting
really
every
doesn't
Monday.
care.
Eric, you're meeting every Monday.
Yes. So,
What meeting is this?
we're meeting at CCMV, which is
Oh, the CCNB meeting, okay.
Yes, that's the shelter. CCMV is at 425 Second Street.
Hold on. 425.
Second Street.
Got it. I have to write this. I talk fast, right? So, what time?
It's at 1 o'clock every Monday. And so, and would you be able to give us a particular Monday
I don't know, but
on which either
the
you or the
real
council
way to
member?
do this. You guys have email.
Yes, I do have,
Okay.
yes.
This is her. I don't know. That's your scheduler. If you could email him, because that way, I mean, if she wants to send a staff person, that's great, but that's the way to make sure she knows about it, with a little blurb about what, oh, here you can have, oh, I need to get mine, stay away from me.
Yeah.
I have a bunch, but they're not right there. A little blurb about what, why, or something like that, and, you know, if you can't make it, maybe once in a while, one of us can make it, and you can say you met with me, but let me get more cards, hold
Okay.
on.
I'll do that tomorrow
Yeah, that's fine.
during our major event. Other than what he just said.
Did you find a permanent secretary?
Huh?
Did you find?
Thank you very much.
Oh, wait, let me check something real fast. Check something real fast.
Take it.
Thanks for coming.
Here you go, Eric.
Sure.